Value is something that happens in business. And everything that we do is exchanging value. Business is creating a solution for a problem. That's creating value. All right, day number 5, marketing success is perceived value. What does that mean? What does that mean by perceived value? What's value? Like, value is something that happens in business. Value is something, value is the only thing that happens in business. So value is a word that I'm kind of addicted to. Right? What is value? Before there was money, there was no monetary policy, there was no government, there was no taxation. There was taxation for a long time, but even before that, there was gold or silver or barter system. You're giving one fruit and somebody else is giving you a fruit, and then all of a sudden, if I have a bigger fruit and then you give me 3 small fruits, there were exchange of products. And how did we decide the value? Maybe based on size, maybe based on color. And all of a sudden, we humans invented this thing called silver and gold. And all of a sudden, why don't we keep the silver as the equivalent thing to measure value? So that, when we are giving 25,000 tapioca, we kind of know that it's this much silver, right? And this much silver, or this much gold. And all of a sudden, it's easy for us to transact. So this way, silver became kind of a metaphor. And then of value. Right? And then gold, and then there was coins, and then there was money. There was dollar, yuan, rupees, and different currencies all over the world, pound, so many currencies, right? So all of a sudden, in Russian ruble, for example, okay. So what happened? What happened was we use money as a tool to exchange value. Makes sense? That's what we're doing, and everything that we do is exchanging value. Your job is exchanging value. Your business is exchanging value. Your business is creating a solution for a problem. That's creating value. And everything that you do is value creation in business. Now, what is value versus perceived value? The value that you're giving to your customers, if they don't appreciate that, then there's no value. Some businesses create so much value, but they are not able to figure out a way to create perceived value in their customers, and they fail. One more time. There are many companies. There are so many companies that gives value to the world, but they didn't know how to create perceived value in their customers, in their prospects. They fail. Why? Because you give the value, they don't get it. How many times a husband says, I gave everything to my wife and she still left me? There was no perceived value. He was not able to create perceived value in her. Maybe there could be other reasons too, right? And we'll talk about that later. But the point is, some customers, you give everything and they are still not appreciate you. Maybe they don't know how to appreciate. If that's the case, that's a different problem. But if they know how to appreciate, then if you haven't created perceived value in their mind, what happened? You missed the thing. You missed the idea. Why not? Why are they not staying? They're not staying because they are not seeing perceived value. They are not perceiving value. And you're complaining, I did all these things for them, but they don't appreciate. Why humans are like this? Why don't they appreciate us? Because you didn't teach them how to value what you do. So as a business owner, take this responsibility starting today. It's not your customer's job to appreciate what you do. Whose job is that? It's your job to teach them to appreciate what you do. One more time. It's not the customer's, it's not the client's job to appreciate what you do for them. It's your job to teach them to appreciate what you do for them. That's what perceived value is. Perceived value is a value that they are perceiving. For that, what do you need to do? You need to perceive the value yourself. What does that mean? It means that you need to understand. You need to understand first that you are giving some valuable things. You are giving some value to your customers. And if you don't understand that you're giving value to customers, how could they? For example, if you don't respect yourself, how could you expect other people to respect you? Yeah? If you don't love yourself, how could you ask other people to love you? If you don't have high self-image, how could you have other people treat you with high respect and high significance and high authority? Right? The same way, your product, your service need to be respected. You need to feel and understand that you are providing value. If you're not providing value, of course, that's a problem that you need to fix. Because then you're cheating lives, cheating business, cheating other people, which is unfair to you, not to them. And of course, to them and you, because you are not taking the best advantage in life. So what do we do? If you are creating value, learn to value your service yourself. Learn to appreciate you. Learn to appreciate your product. Learn to appreciate your service. Learn to appreciate your business so much that you're naturally creating perceived value in others through your conversation, through your sales pitch, through your marketing pitch, through your marketing conversation. All your conversation is showing your high self-image through your product, through your service, through your business. At that point, your business is going to work out. So marketing success is perceived value success, being ability to create perceived value in others. Some people do it in manipulation, and of course, and scammers, manipulators, they know this very well. So even if they don't have any value they are providing, they're really good at creating perceived value. I'll give you an example. Think about it this way. So this might sound like a weird example, but I'm going to give it anyway. If somebody is robbing a bank, what's the value exchange? Value exchange is the person is taking the money and leaving. The only value that he's giving or she is giving or a group of people is giving is they are giving the value of fear. Like they are creating fear in these people through gun or knife or whatever. And then through that fear, they're asking them to open the thing, open the whatever thing that is like the place there, the locker where they store the money or wherever they keep all the money, and they ask them to open, take the money and leave. So it's a forceful value extraction, right? It's a value extraction. You're actually going to the bank vault, finally I got the word. Yeah, go to the vault and then get the money and leave by creating fear. That's manipulation. And there's no value exchange. They didn't give. And imagine you and a bunch of your friends are going to a bank and you have like several $1 million, and you go to a bank at night, you're actually taking like $5 million of your money, putting that into that vault. Is anybody, like the bank is like, oh my gosh, how dare you do that? How could you possibly put $5 million into our vault? Do you think anybody's going to be mad at you for that? No. I mean, it's not a very smart thing to do. You're losing $5 million. But that's value creation. Nobody's going to complain to that. What if you could create $5 million worth of value for your customers without spending a lot of money through your marketing, through your sales conversation, through your high self-image, through the value that you create? Especially if you're providing a service for $10,000, you could give $100,000 of value. And if you could do it for 10 people, then $1 million, you're providing $10 million of value to your prospective customers by creating perceived value for them. Does that make sense? Am I talking too fast? Okay, so perceived value is the thing. It's not the value itself. There are so many fascinating products in the world. They don't see the light in the world. Why? Because there's not enough perceived value. One more time, there are fascinating products in the world, all over the world, that they don't see light. They don't grow. They don't become famous. There are fascinating people in the world. There are fascinating influencers in the world, fascinating thinkers in the world. They don't see the light. Why? They have value. They haven't learned how to convert that into perceived value. Entirely different thing in the world. Value is one thing. Perceived value is different. Makes sense? These are the misunderstood people. People who don't know, who haven't figured out how to market themselves, market their company, market their services. So understand this. So if you don't understand anything else, understand this. It's not even value. Of course you need to provide value. The scammers, what they do is there's no value. They create perceived value, perceived value, perceived value. Made of. Like if you look at different people in the world, like, Catch Me If You Can, whatever his name was, like creating perceived value, right? Abigail, I think that was his name. Yeah. So if you look at it, they create perceived value. No value. In real case, there's no value, but they are really good at creating perceived value. That's what scammers are. Charisma. Like there are yesterday I read about a woman who got $4 billion from some of the smartest people in US in the name of a cryptocurrency. And she disappeared with $4 billion. Not like $300, $4 billion. How did she do that? Like Sam Beckman, the guy with FTX, and $35 billion or something. How? Because he was able to create perceived value. And I mean, is this a way to become a scammer? No. This is how scammers know how to create perceived value, even if there's no value. But you have an amazing product, amazing service that actually creates value for people. But you are not creating perceived value for people enough. You should figure out a way to create perceived value for people. As you are creating value for them. So there's no compromise on the value that you provide. There's no compromise on the quality that you provide, the commitment that you bring into your product. But if you are able to provide perceived value in addition to the value that you provide. Not in spite of the value, in addition to the value that you provide. Your business is going to scale and expand globally and grow to a completely different level. And if you don't want to grow globally, that's fine. It will grow to the highest level that you could possibly imagine. That's where the big opportunity is. So the idea is perceived value of iPhone versus perceived value of Nokia 3310. If you're old enough to remember Nokia 3310, which is one of the most famous phone before iPhone. Basically, we had a standard phone. It has dial pad. It has a like keyboard, and then it will take you like 73 times to press A. Right? You have to press like A like 3 times, and then all of a sudden C will show up, and then you press like 4 times, then it becomes an A. It's really complicated. You needed like 3 days. One time it took 1 week to send a text to my friend, and then by the time text was received, it was too late. So he actually had gone. Yeah, so it's a fascinating difference. Nokia had a phone, fascinating phone. Everybody loved it at the time. It was pretty good. But iPhone 1 came in, changed the whole dynamic. Now, what's the perceived value for Nokia now? Almost nothing. Almost nothing compared to Apple. Apple showed up. They said, you know what? We don't need a keyboard. Like we don't need the thing. We could come up with a touch thing. And all of a sudden, everybody's on touch now. Nobody is non-touching now. Nobody is using, like most people, if you're young enough, you might not even know what a phone with a button, like there's no button in phones anymore, right? It's all touch. Why? Because there was a major creation of perceived value in customers. It's a major fanciness, there's some beauty in it. It's like, it looked like a really fancy jewelry when you bought an iPhone in the beginning. It's like a jewelry, and they come in like fancy, beautiful boxes with a gold lining and everything. Oh my gosh, this is like a jewelry. So its perceived value was significantly high, and all of a sudden, of course, the actual value is so much high too. And now we have enough actual value, enough perceived value. Now you have a fascinating business. That's how Apple built business back. Makes sense? That's what I would like you to create. Coming up next tomorrow I'm going to talk about niches are needs. Niches are not a group of people. This is something that I learned from my friend Eben Pagan. Learn about Eben Pagan. He's a fascinating guy. And Annie Lala, like two of my amazing mentors and friends. So here's the thing. Tomorrow I'm going to talk about niches are needs. What does that mean? We'll find out tomorrow. Talk to you tomorrow.